at the moment.
Perhaps this is related to the game that you've launched recently.
That too. We just launched it yesterday, so I'm excited about that too.
What's the story behind it?
I'm a sex and relationship therapist,
Yes.
and I've always thought, how can we get people to talk about sex and relationships more, And even in therapy, when I meet couples, I ask some questions, and they'd be together for 10 years, 15 years, and they've never asked these questions to each other. And they wouldn't know the answer for it, because sometimes we think that we know our partner because we've been with them for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. But we wouldn't have asked questions that help us get to know them at a deeper level.
Okay.
So I got all the team together, we got all these questions together,
Yeah.
we joined forces with cultivate, who are renowned in Malta
Yes.
for their card games and their
I
games.
don't think I've played the game yet,
No,
but I
you
know
should.
the game.
You should.
Yeah.
It's a good game. So we got our heads together and we supplied the questions. They came up with a fantastic design, and now there's a game that couples are playing. And as I was saying, as we were setting up, it's a different feeling when you develop a product and people are coming to buy it, and they are investing their energy and their time and resources to get the product. It's
And
like,
it's recreational as well, so it's not in a therapeutic session. It can be intimate as well,
Yes,
obviously.
very intimate.
And you can... Okay, let me take a step back, because at the start you mentioned that there are questions to which we don't know the answer to. And that leads to the self-awareness state, how self-aware we are. And sometimes we don't have the time to be self-reflexive and to introspect a bit, or we don't know how to do it.
Or we don't want to do it
Yeah.
because we're scared of what we might find, or we're scared of what we might not find when we reflecting. It's easier to project onto others. It's easier to live a life full of distractions from one thing to the other, be it work, be it traveling, be it whatever it is, sports. To stop and reflect and to think about yourself hard enough and long enough to realize where you need to improve is also admitting to yourself that you're not perfect, that you don't know everything, that there are aspects of yourself that you don't like. And not everyone can do that and accept that feeling, because it's not positive. It's not a positive feeling to admit to yourself that you fucked up, that you made a mistake, that you didn't treat someone well, that you made a bad decision, a wrong decision. It's much easier to blame others for it.
Yeah.
So doing it, I think it's the only way, because a philosopher says the life not... do you know how it's...
I think
how
it's
it
about
is?
existence. It's about if you're not living, you're not existing.
No, it's the life not reflected upon is not worth living.
Okay.
So when we are living a life from one section to the next, you're not growing. So you're the same person you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
And then there's the other story of the river, that you can't step into the same river twice.
Yes, for sure. So yes, you need a lot of self-reflection. And hopefully the game helps couples do that, and individuals within the couple as well to do that, yes, definitely.
I think it's based, the fear of not self-reflecting is based on judgment. I think we are afraid of the judgment that we place on ourselves and those of others as well. What would be your tip to someone who's trying to be vulnerable with oneself and with the other people around them? How can they do it and sort of not jeopardize their well-being in a way?
It's not easy. It's not easy to be open to feedback. I think it's about developing a growth mindset. It's about understanding that the feedback you're getting today will help you be a better person tomorrow. And who you were yesterday is not who you are. What am I saying with this? That if I gave a workshop and people are telling me you weren't energetic, you were repeating yourself, I might judge myself and say, Mela, I'm not good at doing this. I shouldn't be doing workshops because that's who I am. That's what they described. It's most of them who said that, so I'm not good at this. But I can say, what do I need to do to work on these aspects of me as a public speaker? And get mentors on board, get people who can help me, record myself giving speeches so that I can see if I'm repeating myself or not, and then work on that and grow in that aspect.
Yeah.
Now, that's the difference between growth mindset and the fixed mindset, right?
Yes.
And I think it's very much what you're talking about, it's very much this, that if you're accepting that who you are is constantly developing, then getting feedback is only fuel to your growth. So even within yourself, if you're stopping to hear yourself and to ask yourself, who am I? What did I do well today? What can I improve on? Right? Then it's not criticism, but it's constructive feedback so that you grow as a person. Some of us might be, when they're reflecting, hearing voices which are very critical. And the way I work with my clients when they describe this is give that voice, give those sentences, that criticism, an actual voice of someone you know. And most of the time you'd see that you developed that form of abuse towards yourself, that form of criticism, because someone taught you that, because someone spoke to you in that way. And when you start giving those thoughts that voice, you start to understand that that's not you. That's what you've been taught about yourself. And that way you can distance the criticism from yourself, which is very different from feedback. So when I give you feedback, it's me, even if I'm saying the same thing, but it's coming from a good place, a place where I want you to grow. If I'm criticizing you, then I just want to make you feel bad about yourself. Or I want to feel good by pushing you down, by putting you down. So it's important to differentiate between the two. So we talked about two extremes. One is when it's never my fault, it's always everyone else's fault. And I think that doesn't help you grow. Okay? That keeps you alienated from reality, and it doesn't allow you to take ownership of any aspect of the shadow of the dark self, right? So you will never come to terms with that. The other is when you've been criticized so much that all that you tell yourself is criticism by saying you're not good at this, you should not try this, you're making a fool of yourself. And that also stops our growth. So I think it's important to talk to ourselves the same way we talk to our best friends. I see a lot of men who suffer from premature ejaculation, which is a performance anxiety issue. And I talk about this constantly with them. Because what does a man tell himself when he's suffering from this? You're going to repeat what you did last time, you're not good at this, they're going to laugh at you,